Hello, I'm Adrian Crawford. Welcome to Walkabout Wednesday with Williams Crawford Passion for Porsche, and today I'm here with Beth and Harry's behind the camera, and we're going to have a look at turbo Porsche through the ages. So the first one I want to show you is more sort of these young guys' age rather than my age. I sort of know about a lot of the older stuff. It's this, which I'm going to let Beth introduce you to, and take it away then, Beth. Tell me, what have we got here?
So we've got a 991, it's the first generation, so it's still the 3.8. And me and Harry we took it out the other week and we were lucky enough to take it for a spin.
What, a 20-year-old taking this out? Did you ask anyone?
And I think Harry will agree with me, it is amazing to drive. It's about 520 brake horsepower and it really goes.
So if my mum was here, she'd say, what on earth's the point of having something that does, I think this is probably good for 190 something mile an hour. Where could you do that, she'd say, and she'd like, we'll be miserable about it. But the thing is, you've got 190 mile an hour performance, 190 mile an hour suspension, brakes, handling, aero and safety. So although you don't have to do that speed to enjoy it, there's a real good feeling with all these turbo cars of, I think, effortless performance.
Oh, and the quality when you're driving it, the fact that it's built to go that fast, you can just tell when it's got the PDK gearbox, which is obviously amazing, and it is just seamless. It really is. You can't even feel it change gear.
I reckon that this would have been something around £140,000 new.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So the bizarre thing is, the last one I'm going to show you is a higher price than the youngest one that I'm showing you. This one is
70,000, 69,995.
£70,000, so probably half its new price. The thing about Porsche that I particularly like, I always notice it, is how nice the interiors are. And this one's really unusual. I don't know whether you guys have looked at it, but the deviated stitching, this is what they call it. You can choose what you like, but it's like a grey on the doors and red on the seats. Very, very unusual to see a double like that.
Yeah.
But let's see what it sounds like. Lovely seats, beautiful dash, PDK controls, and wow. The thing that I noticed with all the turbos is actually how refined they sound and how sort of subtle they are. And part of it is that the turbo itself masks the exhaust noise. So on a normally aspirated car you get more of a vroom vroom vroom. On turbos you tend not to. But this is a car you could go anywhere in, any time of the year. It is your all year round supercar. I like that, and I like it in white actually.
Yeah, it works really well with the red leather seat and the red seat belts too.
And the bright diamond cut rims.
Yeah, it's definitely got a look to it.
Yeah, I like the black roof against the white. So anyhow, there's all sorts of things. Right, show me your next one.
Okay, so next we've got two 997s, and whilst they look very similar on the outside, despite being one white and one black, one is a Generation 1 and one is a 1.5.
Okay, so I think I know a bit about this, because I bought one of these brand new when they first came out.
Check you out.
Yeah, I bought a left-hand drive one. And I bought it for a gent in Portugal that I'd never met. And I said, how come you're sending me, I think at the time it was £114,000, because you had to pay more than the new cost for them.
You're right, got you.
To beat the waiting list. And I'd found one, and he said, oh, well, I've Googled you. And it was the first time, bearing in mind this would have been about 06, it's the first time I'd come across someone saying, I've Googled you. And I thought, ooh, maybe this is important. And of course, it's something that we all do now.
And was that a manual car you picked up on automatic?
No, it's a manual, left-hand drive, manual, black. I remember driving it and thinking, A, it's like a spaceship, and B, I best not damage it because it's brand new. So, you know, I was scared of every little stone chip. So Beth will probably know more about the technical spec of it.
So both of the 997s and the 996, which we'll get onto in a minute, all had a 3.6. So twin turbo again, like the 991. And I think you still get into 62 in under 4 seconds.
Oh, they're immensely quick. They really are. And this is a 1.5, so it meant that this is the last of the manuals.
Yes, exactly that. And I think on the 1.5s, there was only about 40 right-hand drives delivered.
Yeah, it's super rare. So, you know, these cars now are classed as modern classics, which seems bizarre to me when I bought them new. What happened? I don't know. But they're modern classic. They're really durable. They're lovely to drive. You feel very well connected to the cars. And again, performance you can use completely effortlessly. This is almost the same thing, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's an earlier car. So I believe that one's on a 58 plate, so a late 2008 car. And this one's a 2007 car. So the differences between the 1 and the 1.5 is a bit of an interior fresh up. They've got a different PCM unit. And the interiors look ever so slightly different, but engine exactly the same.
It wasn't a big deal on the interior,
Was it not?
To be fair. It was that PCM unit was updated, and they got rid of the silver look that you can see in here, in the centre of the car, and they replaced it with a black look. But the cars were still beautifully built, lovely sports chairs, full leather inside. This one's got a sunroof. And the thing I like that Harry sort of showed you in the last little section was the white colour-coded console,
Yeah.
which would have been an extra, and I really like that. I think that's really neat. So active spoiler, rises at a certain speed, just gorgeous, gorgeous cars. How much is it?
Oh, good question.
Well, Beth, you can't sell a car without knowing how much they are.
61,995, 62,000.
So very nice cars, well worth finding yourself a really, really good example. You do that, you're going to be happy. There's one snag with cars like this, is that generally it's very hard to sell them the next one because they're so darn good. There's nothing that they need to go to the next one. If we set them off in like a little 2.5 Boxster, then you can sell them a 2.7 and a 3.2, and you can sell them a Cayman and a Cayman R and a Porsche and a 911 and eventually a Turbos. But if they come and they buy one of them, you'll never see them again. There's no reason to ever change. They're fantastic. Right, show us the next one.
Okay, so next we've got the 996, and this one's a bit different because this one's a cabriolet. But it still had the same engine derived from Mezger, but this one is also a Tiptronic as well. So we've gone from the 2 manuals to a Tiptronic.
Okay, so again, I bought one of these almost new. I bought it in Strasbourg for a gent. He wanted a coupe without a sunroof because he's really tall. A left-hand drive car. And I had one of my best ever drives back from Strasbourg and one of my worst as well. Because there was a few little problems along the way, but nothing to do with the car. So these I know quite a bit about. So they've got an overboost facility. They were 420s, they overboosted to 445 or 450 or something like that. 192 or 94 mile an hour.
Wow.
And they'll do that.
They will.
Uh-huh.
Do you speak from experience, Adrian?
They'll do that. 4-wheel drive, ABS, active rear spoiler, really secure. And this is, of course, a convertible. And the amazing thing with the convertibles that you kids mustn't try is that at high speed, you'd think the convertible top would get sucked clean off and you'd be left there in the rain, but you don't. The convertible top you forget about. The ceiling on the windows and the doors is such that you couldn't tell you were in a convertible. Then there's a bit of a myth that I want to bust about it. And the myth is that if you go down the pub, a lot of people will say, oh, you've got to have a manual. No, you mustn't have a Tiptronic. But the Tiptronics were really, really popular, and they're a lovely thing to use. They take away a lot of the stress of the car, and they adapt to the way that you're driving. So the more energetically you drive, the later the gear shifts, the earlier the downshifts. It feels like a manual car. You've still got the engine braking going into the corners, and you can interact with it through the buttons on the steering wheel if you feel the need. But the Tiptronic in the turbo, it works really, really well.
So it almost like molds to how you drive the car.
Oh yeah, it does. The only thing it cannot do is predict when you're going to be daft. It cannot do that. So if you're trundling along at 30, following a lady in a Nissan Micra, nothing wrong with Nissan Micras, and then suddenly you want to pretend you're Lewis Hamilton, it can't predict that. It can't read your mind. But you can manipulate it by the way that you're driving. One of the actions is how fast the throttle pedal moves.
Right.
Right? It's sensing that. So if you move the pedal fast, it'll go down into a more sporting map.
Right.
Now these cars have got quite a distinct sound.
This one's also had the upgraded PCM unit put in.
Oh yeah. So quite different to the other cars.
Yeah.
This one's had some sort of sport exhaust fitted, so it's got a really nice burble. I mean, they're powerful cars. Biggest problem with this? We've got a 70-mile-an-hour speed limit, and it'll do that in a blink of an eye in second gear.
At least you look cool doing it.
Yeah, but that we don't encourage speeding, Beth. They're really, really nice cars, and buying nice ones, buying really good ones, I mean, you've got something to be proud of, and you've got something to take care of. I'd have no problem heading anywhere in Europe with this afternoon. That would be my dream job. Fabulous cars. Where are we going next?
Wow, something a little bit different. We're jumping back a few years, and we've got the 930 Turbo. So another white turbo, but I can safely say you'll know a lot more about this than me.
So do I look the right age for a 930 Turbo? Yeah?
I wasn't insinuating anything.
I love this. There's two reasons I love it. One, I like the 930 Turbos. They are like proper, beefy, strong cars that you really have to manhandle. You know, you've got to be in charge of them. And they also, when they first introduced this, before which would have been 1974, the adverts used to say, for the experienced driver. Now, you couldn't say that anymore, which is why we've got all sorts of safety aids and ABS and skid control and all sorts of stuff. This was for the experienced driver. And they were a challenge, and they still are a challenge. I could send my mum out, assuming she was still alive, I could send my, and I've done this, send her out in one of these, she wouldn't know anything was wrong. She wouldn't know how fast it was. It would just like purr along really sensibly. However, we've had a few of these, and the thing that I like about this is a modified turbo, and they respond really, really well to mods.
Right.
So it's got better suspension, it's got a limb slip, it's got the 5-speed gearbox, which brought the ratios closer together, because the original turbos were 4-speed, and really you only needed 1 gear. Like you could pull away in third, and third would do you all the way to about 130. Yeah, so it's like a single-speed car, you know, and never tried it. And this one's 5-speed, so it actually is easier to get along with, but it's also probably in the order of 4 to 450 horses, and they'll do that without causing a load of drama. So this is a properly exciting car, and then things like this. God, you could buy one of these, Harry, and some of them will need full restoration, and others you just wash and go, and this is a wash and go.
Yeah.
It's not being restored, it doesn't need restoration. It will not suit your man that's counting the rivets, because it's got the wrong this and the wrong that, because it's all been modified. So if you're after like the world's most original, untampered with car, this isn't it. If you want an exciting Porsche, yes, this is it.
Were they popular when they first came out?
No, they were damn expensive.
Right.
Only really like heads of business could afford to buy one of these new. These were off the charts. This was just as exotic as having a Lamborghini Miura that you don't know anything about, I don't suppose. It was a properly exotic car.
Right.
And, you know, today, they've really found some recognition. It's timeless. If you parked it outside and found some old lady walking past, she's probably going to say, is it a 911 turbo? It's recognizable. Fabulous piece of kit. This one's left hand, which I prefer,
yeah,
because the ergonomics for my stature are a bit nicer. And it also means it's not being subject to the salty roads of Britain for very long. So I'd really, really recommend it. I see we're asking 95,000 for this one and 70,000 for the 991. Beth will be delighted to sell any or either or all of them, but for me, my choice, put it in my garage, use it occasionally, I'm in there. What would you take?
See, I really, really like the 996 Cabriolet. I do. I think it's a lovely car. I really like the dashes on them as well,
yeah,
the shape of them. So I think I would be quite swaying there, to be honest.
Right, and Harry's behind the camera. It's quiet now, so you have to speak up. But what would you take, Harry? He's pointing at the 930. Good man. Okay, well, that's it from Walkabout Wednesday. Harry, thanks, Beth. I'm Adrian. Thank you for watching. See you next time.